every day, every day, every day. Welcome back to another episode of me+you. This is episode 16. This is your latest and greatest, Jordan, and I got my co-host Kiya with me.
I'm only laughing because you knew the number this time. Did you look at it? I know you looked at it.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. I don't even know the episode numbers.
So today we are going to be talking about generational curses and what we are doing to kind of break curses. I hate to say curses. That sounds so bad. But to break habits that maybe our parents had or our parents' parents, and what we're doing differently. So
yeah. So you want to dive
my
into
notes.
it?
So we're going to be talking about breaking generational curses. The first thing that came to my mind was having like a two-parent household. I grew up with two parents in the house, but I wouldn't say it was successful. I was with my mom at first for a while, so I would say I was in like a single parent household, and then my dad came home from college and I did have both of them at that point, but I wouldn't say that it was really like the ideal image that I would want us to model to our kids. So I think that like I've been just kind of thinking of how our kids see us in a different light than I saw my parents growing up.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
With me, I did have a two-parent household. I really can't say much negatives from my perspective. I would say that my household was pretty old-fashioned, whereas my dad pretty much he took care of everything on the financial end, and my mother pretty much took care of the home when it came to pretty much like cleaning and the nurturing
Of the kids?
yes,
Yeah.
things of that aspect. So that's kind of how I was brought up. Obviously, myself and Kiya's relationship is very different. Being that we come from, I'm not gonna say two different backgrounds.
Well, we
have
do.
similarities.
Kind of.
Point that I made was more so like your mother was more so your nurturer, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, who took care of you from a financial standpoint?
Oh, like who made the most money? My dad.
Okay, so those are the similarities.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I can't say it's two different backgrounds. It would have been a different background if you grew up with whether if it was solely your mother or your dad taking care of you, or if your mother was a breadwinner.
Yeah.
That would be different, is what I'm saying.
Well, I guess in my situation, a little different is, I did only have my mom until I was 10. Mm-hmm. So that was like a pretty long period of really just having a single mom. So I feel like that really shaped a lot of how I felt when my dad came. It's like I already kind of had these ideals in my head about my mom. Mm-hmm. So it's like I did have a single parent household at first, and then when he came, it was kind of like yours. So what ways do you feel like you're parenting now, you kind of take some things from your parents that they did with you?
I would say from my dad, obviously it's different, since he was literally like the sole provider.
So your mom didn't work?
She worked, but he like took care of all the finances.
Did she work like part-time?
No.
Oh, she worked full-time.
She worked full-time.
But she didn't pay any bills?
She didn't pay any bills, to my understanding.
Okay.
To my understanding. But I believe that's because my dad made substantially more.
Okay.
So that's how that was. So in a way that I can relate to that is more so when it came to like house stuff, like making sure everything is straight in the house from like a maintenance, issues.
Or like you paying more bills.
Yeah, that too. More so like paying more bills and kind of like not even really having that discussion, but just kind of like just taking on just because I felt like I just should, from that's just I
that's
don't know.
What you saw growing up.
That's what I saw growing up. So I just kind of felt that. But on the flip hand of the side, also what I saw growing up is my dad not doing as much as I do with the kids. So it's kind of like
that you're kind of breaking.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't know. balances. You know, he pay more money, do less with the kids. I don't pay as much with him, do more with the kids.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's some similarities, some differences that I'm breaking. You know, my mother already, you know, she told me that, you know, pretty much that I did way more than what my dad's did to do with, you know, us back then. And that's not a dig or nothing. I just feel like with the times and, you know, back then, it was just a different time.
Yeah.
Where more so like, not only men didn't do so much, but I feel like a lot of females back then really didn't expect it or
weren't vocal about it.
Yeah, weren't vocal about it. So it kind of never was a issue. So
So do you feel like that is an area though that you had to do differently?
I feel like it was more so like, I'm not gonna say that like it was an area where like you kind of forced my hand or nothing like that, but it was more so an area that I can tell would make you happy. And on top of that, it was more so an area that kind of naturally happened with me, you know, once I, you know, became a dad. You know, it was more so I wanted to be involved in, you know, certain things, and, you know, even if it's not like just to the same extent as you, you know, just not so, you know, sitting in the background, you know, not fathering.
I would say that an area that I for sure took from my mom is like the way that she mothered me and Kayla. Like, I knew that like we were her main focus. Like, I knew that like no matter what, she was putting me and Kayla first. And I feel like that is something that I've taken from mommy. Like, they're not going to other people's house. Like, I'll cut anybody off for my kids. Like, and I think that that's something that I definitely took from my mom. But then on the flip side of that, I feel like she did put me and Kayla a little bit too high. Like, I feel like my dad was just off that list. Like, it was give a fuck about him. It was all about me and Kayla. And then now with me and your relationship, I don't want to do that. So that's an area where I'm like, okay, yes, my kids need me, but you do too. And it's like, once, I don't know where I read this at, but I had read somewhere that like you can't always put only your kids first, because they're going to grow up and they're going to go off and have their own families, and then you and your husband not going to have no type of relationship. So I think that that's something that like I do want to break. I don't want it to just be like it's just about me and my kids, because I'm not a single mom. So it can't be just me and the kids.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing, because I know I seen like somewhere, I think it was Instagram or something like that, like you go out to eat or something like that, you're with your kids and you're with your husband. Who are you taking care of first? Yeah. And the real answer is supposed to be your husband. Yeah. But I know a lot of people, they're just like naturally just like my kids.
Do you feel like I would take care of you first or the kids, honestly?
Me personally, at this age, I would not mind. Now let's just say, yeah, you taking care of the kids, but like let's just say if they're like, honestly, let's just say if they're like teenagers, like 15, 16, I feel at that point you could take care of your husband first. Yeah. I feel like they're kind of old enough to kind of like, they have their own wings by then. Obviously right now our kids, you know, they're 9 and 3. Like, they're babies still, technically. Well,
I can't speak on it now, but I could see how that would be hard, because they're still my kids. You know
I can see how it could be hard.
I can see that issue. It's just like, they're my kids, I want to make sure they're good, and then I could see issues with either side, because it's just like, it can't be all about you either, but it can't be all about them. So it's just like a balancing act. And that's crazy that you said that. Basically, you took some things from your dad, and that very same thing, you kind of want to do a little less on this side. So it's like we both are kind of just trying to balance out. Like,
yeah, you gotta find your healthy medium.
Yeah. Do you feel like there is like a generational thing in your family that you like consciously wanted to break with our family?
You're speaking just on like my immediate family, right?
It could be further out.
I would say being close.
With the kids or me and you?
As a family in general.
Oh, okay.
More so immediate family as well. Like, I feel like, you know, with you, one difference I can see with you and your, you know, your sibling and your mother, you know, you guys have like a close-knit relationship. Whereas me, and I can kind of take the blame more so myself as well, because I'm not like, that's just not my personality. I'm not really a open and outgoing person. Yeah. My mother constantly be calling me, where you going? Like, how are you doing? You fill out the map. And it's just like, I don't really see it like that, you know. But more so like my older brother, you know, AJ, he's constantly, you know, they're constantly talking on the phone every day, kind of like you and your mom. So it's different.
Yeah.
Whereas me, she feel like she got to like track me down, like, damn, how's my son doing? Like,
Right.
and it's not personal. I'm not doing it. It's just that I've never been that person where I have to talk to somebody or feel that I should have to reach out to somebody on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's not that it's anything against them or not. It's just that I don't know. I'm not. Could be an introvert at times.
Right. So then on the flip side, are you worried that like your kids would do that with you? How do you feel like you would feel on the flip side if they were like that with you?
Yeah. On the flip side, I can definitely see, you know, I always, you know, I want to have a very close relationship, you know, with my kids. I want them to be able to come to me, you know, for anything, you know. I've had experiences myself, so I know I can offer some advice. It's just, you know, the approach and stuff like that.
So that's something you want to break. You want to make sure you have like a real closeness.
Yeah. Close relationships, and more so, and if we're talking overall, not even immediate family, I want to, you know, be more close as a family as well, you know, and that goes to speak even with like Kamari,
with
being
extended.
her uncle, extended family as well, being around. I know that I have things to work on myself, you know, because I'm just, like I just said, I'm naturally not that type of person that's like always reaching out and doing this. People usually reach out to me like, oh, man, whatever.
And you respond.
But, and I respond.
But you're not usually the initiator.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not the initiator.
So is that something that you plan on like doing differently?
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna try to.
I'm gonna hold you to it. We're gonna check back in. My generational curse that I want to break is that having like a unified parent front. Because I know like my parents were never unified. Even if my dad was like, oh yeah, whatever your mom says, like that's not the same thing as, no, this is what we agreed together, blah blah blah. Like I definitely want to have that with us. I mean, I feel like we're already breaking generational things, you know, in regard to my family. Like even us like getting married, like that's a big deal. Us having like a 2-parent household, we bought a home. Like I feel like I'm already breaking like a lot of generational stuff, but that's really my main thing. Like I do want us to be like on the same team.
Definitely. We can talk about punishment, because I have something I feel that goes along with that nice little J. Cole quote from a song.
Oh, like differences in punishment from how you were raised. Okay.
So I feel like you know, me and you, we came up differently.
Yeah.
When it comes to punishment.
Well, go ahead. How were you punished? I feel like we have to like let them know that. How was your punishment as a kid, and then I'll say how mine was.
Yeah, more so my punishment as a kid was you know, we used to get spazzed on for one, and it was just like more so like my mother's spaz was just like damn, but my dad's spaz, you know, he was more so like me, mellow. So he spazzed, I knew something really done triggered him, you know, or he was really, you know, upset, pissed. So I never got like no crazy ass beatings and nothing like that. I got spankings, stuff like that. A little spanking,
Spazzed on like with cuss words or just
cuss words.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Cuss words. Bless you. Once I was older, I got the occasional punch in the chest. So, you know,
were you equally punished by your mom and your dad?
Yeah. It was always a team effort. It never really was just
team.
It really never was just like one of them just punished me and the other one's just kind of just like, oh, don't do that. Not like, nah, it's a team, which I did like. I did like that. Looking up I feel like as parents, it's good to be, you know, in unison.
Oh,
with
like
each
a united front.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, kids see through that, and I feel like they're gonna respect one of you less or go to one of you instead of the other. You know, and that's
if they see like a crack.
Yeah, if they see a crack, if, you know, one of the parents is just kind of like, no, you shouldn't do that or this and that. Like, I feel like that's a combo that you need to have away from that. But
I don't know. I felt like that was a little shot. I be doing that sometimes.
I've told you
I
before
know,
that that's something that we got to work on, because I really do feel that that's not good.
No, you're right. For me, punishment, I actually never got a spanking ever. I think my mom maybe said I got one when I was like 3 or 4, but I never like got a spanking. I got a punishment a lot. Like we would get grounded. My mom would spaz too, but she didn't really cuss. I mean, I want to say that she got saved like into church and stuff around I don't know, kind of early, maybe like Ryan's age, like 8-ish. So maybe before that, she used to cuss a little bit, little damn it to hell. But she wasn't like an OD cusser. But again, my dad wasn't there. He came when I was 10, and it was like, I felt like he was really hesitant to discipline at first, rightfully so. He probably felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2 girls, he has 2 daughters, I'm 10, Kayla's 8. And it's just like we already have our routines and stuff, so he didn't really punish. And then when he did, I felt like he OD'd. He didn't beat my ass, but he did punch me in the chest once, and I felt like that was so wild. Like, I'm a girl. I was a rough little girl, but I felt like our punishments, my dad barely ever really punished us. Like, he would talk shit here and there, but he really kind of didn't punish us. No, he did not follow through, and my mom grounded us a lot, but that was really it for punishment-wise. Then how do you feel like your punishment or your, what is it called? Is that right?
Punishment?
Yeah, how is your punishing either different or the same than your parents? Even though we're still kind of early on.
Yeah, I feel like we're still kind of early on to a point where it's a lot of learning.
Yeah.
You know, for both of us, especially when it comes to braiding, because, you know, it's just braiding a different breed.
Yeah.
Me more so with Ryan, he doesn't really trigger me a lot. I know there's certain things that trigger you that do not trigger me at all. And the only thing that really triggers me is, like, if I ask him to do something and he doesn't even try.
Oh, like open a water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Piss you off.
Yeah, like at least try. My whole thing is try.
Yeah.
So other than that, there really hasn't been much that Ryan has done that has triggered me. You know, he doesn't whine or nothing like that. Like that.
Yes,
that
he
would
does
trigger
whine.
Me. He doesn't whine.
He whines to me.
To you. That's because you probably embrace it or something. I don't know.
I do not. I hate it. I'd be like, stop whispering. Speak up. Like, I hate it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Whispering, if he's being quiet, that don't bother me. That doesn't bother me.
It does bother me. Like, speak up. So, but what do you feel like your punishment
like my
style
punishment style is? I feel like it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I haven't found my niche yet.
I really don't think I'm gonna hit my kids. I mean, I'll do the occasional pop. You know, I pop braiding because
I don't feel that is.
But I don't think that that's something that I'm gonna do. It didn't happen to me. I just really don't see myself doing it. I am a yeller.
Yeah.
Which is something that I do want to work on. Because I think I yell a little bit too much to the point where they get scared. I
can't see myself personally getting physical unless it's the blatant disrespect. That's one thing I'm not taking as a parent. That's one thing that I was kind of raised to not do more so to, you know, my parents.
Yeah.
So that's also something I took from them is, you know, respect is everything. If you don't respect me as a parent, then you're not respecting anyone out in the streets. And if you're not respecting anyone out in the streets,
that's dangerous.
Anything can happen. So I do, you know, I won't take disrespect. You know, and that's, you know, that's obviously something where, you know, as a kid, you have to educate them on what being respectful and what being, you know, disrespectful is, because, you know, your definition of that might be something different than mine. And that's something we also have to come together on and make sure that, you know, we're more so, you know, on the same page as well.
Yeah.
In regards to like raising the boys, I know we really didn't touch on that much except for like punishment, stuff like that. What are some things that you know, look into? Like, how do you want to raise our boys? Is what I'm trying to say.
I want to raise them. I feel like
to be. How do you want to raise them to be?
I feel like my main like concern and why I usually get kind of upset with the whispering with Ryan is because I want them to be confident in themselves, and I want them to just like be secure in who they are. Like, I want them to know like where they come from and be like proud of it and just like proud of themselves. Like, proud black strong men. Like that's really like my
confidence.
Yeah, I really want them to be confident. I don't want them to doubt themselves. I don't want other people to get in their head and make them doubt themselves, you know. I want them to be able to, like, if somebody tells them they're dumb, like, no, I already know I'm smart. Like, there's nothing someone else can say to like diminish how they feel about themselves. I feel like that's like my number one thing I hope I can accomplish parenting wise. What about you?
I would say for me is, and again, I'm gonna give a little quote after I say this. For me, it's just making sure that, they're able to, that for one, I already said respect is key.
Yeah.
That they know what respect is. They demand respect themselves.
And give it.
And they give it.
Nice.
Whether that's to, people out on the streets, their friends, their, future girlfriend or wife, whoever.
Yeah.
And also, demand that demand that respect from them as well.
Yeah.
Don't ever let anyone disrespect you. And, more so be able to defend yourself. Whether if it's verbally, or physically. Pretty much, being a father, to boys, I feel like it's very important, to, instill those things, especially in this day and age. There's so much going on, where, black men or black boys in general, we're simply, being targeted and racially profiled.
Yeah.
I read an article somewhere that 7 out of 10 black men have been racially profiled at one point in their life.
Did it say police or just in general?
Policing.
That's crazy.
And I'm one of those 7. So these are real facts. I won't go too far into the story, but I have been racially profiled by police before. And, I just want to make sure that, my sons, know how to, kind of react, in that situation, and, they're able to, they know how to, defend themselves, if, someone's messing with them, on the streets, or, not the streets, but like, like in the community, things.
Well, damn, now that you said that, also
nature.
like how to react if they're racially profiled by police. That's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's certain things that you can do or not do as a black man. Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So that's gonna lead me to my quote and one of my favorite songs right now, J. Cole, "Let Go of My Hand." The quote is, "Today my son said, 'Dad, let go of my hand,' reminding me one day he's gonna be his own man." That's big. He's speaking right there. Because that's true. I feel like, at some age, they're gonna get to a point where they're just kind of like, I'm not your little baby boy no more. Like, I'm
good.
I'm good. Because I know there was that point with me where I was probably like in middle school and my dad was kind of just like telling me like, like, you shouldn't hang with that group of people, this and that. And I'm just like, I'm a teenager. I'm good. I'm good, Dad. And what happened? I got in my fight. Like, I got in some fights. I done got snuck, punched for doing dumb shit. Like this is real life shit. So this song really touched me. Reminding me one day he's gonna be his own man, and my job is to make sure he's equipped. Whether that's being, equipped with, knowledge, being equipped to properly, defend yourself physically, verbally.
Right.
That's real shit. I gotta make sure he not no bitch, cause niggas bound to try him. It happens. It happens. In this day and age, there's gonna be someone out there, someone. This is not a perfect world. Someone's gonna try you, and how you react in that situation is essential, because how you react in that situation can determine how your future can be.
Yeah.
Sadly, you can get bullied. Bullying leads to other things, suicidal ideation. It's
Damn.
a lot of shit, deep, right? So
what song is that?
Let Go of My Hand. This is.
Oh yeah, baby.
This is when he's talking about like he got in a couple scraps, had some wins,
some
losses.
Said that he wasn't like the toughest, but
he wasn't the toughest,
had to
but
put on that persona.
he put on that persona, and it's sad that as men we got to do that, but really growing up, like it's either like that person who really is about that life, who's gonna try you just cause, and you really gotta know how to defend yourself, for one, because you don't want to get beat up, and for two, you don't want that label on you. You don't want that label on you. So
I don't want them to grow up.
It's definitely, I feel like those things are very essential when it comes to parenting, young men. Thank you for tuning in with us for our episode 16, Breaking Generational Curses. Tune in for episode 17.
Oh no, my nail.